Hello students, myself Dr. Sheikh Pratima, Ahmednagar Jilla Maratha Vidyaprasarak Samajaj, New Arts, Commerce and Science College, Ahmednagar. Chapter number 9, Economic Policy of India since 1991. This is the second last chapter as per your 11th standard syllabus. In the last few videos, we have discussed that the economic policy, some objectives and also the components. There are a major three components like the globalization, privatization and liberalization. You know that the liberalized means what? We accept that the liberal policy means the de-licensing Raj, means they accepted that the de-licensing, then they encourage for the FDI, the foreign technology and also reduce the role of the public sector. So these are some new characteristics of the new economic policy. Disinvestment policy will also accepted by the Indian government. Then the SEBI, the role of SEBI, it's a change. Then liberalization of the imports and also export promotion. So these all things will also support to your the foreign trade. It is also the gain for your the foreign trade. But in this video, we conclude that the last point in this chapter, like the evolution of the economic policy of 1991, means we calculate that the which part we achieved and which is the failureness. We know that the some points are the positive and some is the negative. If we accept that the 90% that part will support to your economy, so 10% the failureness, it's acceptable. In the basic concept, it's related to this new economic policy. It's like the improve the your foreign trade, encourage the export and also the import sector. So the impact of these all sectors, like the impact of the new economic policy on the agriculture, industry and service sector. So you know that what is the condition about the agricultural sector. Some positive effects are there and some negative effects are there. The production factor, it's increases. We know that in the agricultural sector we increase that the production. The agricultural production, it is the related to the farmers and also it can be purchased the best quality of the high yielded variety seeds and other the inputs at the competitive prices from the abroad. It helps to the increase like the productivity and the production. Then the changes the cropping pattern. We know that the earlier in Indian farmers were the growing only the traditional the staple food and the cash crops, but now at present we seen that the requirement of the globalization, our farmers have changed from the traditional foods items to non-food items like the horticulture, then medicinal plantation, etc. Then the farmers can be get the better price for their the produce when the quality of output increases. Then the second effect of the industrial sector, it's like the liberalization. It's made by the private sector free from the unnecessary bureaucratic control. As a result, like the private sector is growing fast. Then the increase the competitive ability, like the MNCs, the multinational companies have the entered in India with their the excellent technology and marketing skills. Now there is the tough competition to Indian companies which are the upgrading themselves to face the competition. Therefore now we are getting the good quality goods at the competitive prices. Also we increase the exports, improve to the trade relationships and also the import liberalization. These all things will support to your economy. Then the likes the advantages, it's related to the service sector. We know the our economy is divided into the three sector, agri, industry and service sector. So that's why I will discuss these three sectors impact. The service sector's advantages is like the increase the exports, then the IT revolution. So let's we discuss the major achievements, the like the policy of 1991. The first is like the revolution in the IT sector. We know the information and technology. The globalization has created a revolution in the information and technology and softwares. It is the contributing to a great extent to the India's GDP. GDP means what? The gross domestic product. The Indian software, the engineers also they export these software in high demand in developed countries as well as. So the revolution in IT sector, this is the most important achievement. The globalization has created a revolution in the IT sector. We know that the different countries like the USA, then UK, then France, these all the countries will the import to the software, and India will export the software in the capitalist country. Then the next evolution, like the major achievement, is like the improvement in the financial facilities. Due to entry of the private and the foreign banks, the financial sector has become the highly professional and competitive. We know that the financial facility is most important part, and these three sectors like the components will improve your the financial facilities. They are the providing the quick services through the credit cards, then e-banking, etc., to their customers. Then the next the achievement, it's like the improvement in educational standards. It's the most important the revolution. The globalization has the motivated the Indian students to go abroad and seek the higher education as and the effect of the flexibility in getting the educational loans, then scholarships and other requirement facilities. Why it's most important that education, it's most important to our the Indian sector, otherwise the India. We know that education can change your technology, that education can change your the structure, economical structure, and also that education will change your attitude, the economical attitude and all things. So that's why that education is most important. So the improvement in that the educational standards, it's like it's the major change, it's a major the achievements in this the component. So we global our economy means we compete to our economy to the world economy. Automatically we accepted that the foreign technology, we accepted that the foreign education, and as well as at present we've seen that the foreign the different the educational institutions will establish in India, and they will provide the different types of education which is the most important to our economy. Then the next achievement, it's like the increase in the exports. This is the major the revolution. Our exports have the increased the considerably. We opened that this says the special economic zone. That zone will produce those goods which is only the exportable goods. We never use those goods in the domestic level. So that change will support to your export, and automatically your the export section it's increased. India is not only the exporting the traditional products, like the traditional products means like the agricultural product, but also the different machineries, then chemicals, then computers, etc. The consequently our advance the balance of payments the position is improving automatically. Why? Because we change our the foreign trade, we increase in the exporting goods, we change that the export section. Then the last point, it's related to that the evolution means the major achievements, it's like the diversification of the cropping pattern. Indian farmers were the growing only the staple foods and the cash crops. But now at present, we accepted that these three components like the privatization, globalization and liberalization, automatically government will open these all sectors to the 100% the foreign investment, means we attract that the FDI. But now as per the requirement of globalization, they have the diversified their the cropping pattern from the traditional products to the non-traditional products like the horticulture, then floriculture, then medicinal plants, etc. That changes will develop your economy, that changes increase your foreign trade, and it's most important because that foreign trade, if we increased, if we the support that the exporting goods, so automatically we collect the maximum the foreign currency. This currency will increase your the foreign trade and also solve your the domestic problem. Then the last point is like the solve the problems of the scarcity. Due to the liberal imports, we can overcome the scarcity of goods and the raw materials. This helps to solve the problem of inflation. Basically, inflation means what? The common commodities prices, it's increases at a long period of time. So that is called as the inflation. Means the normal commodities prices increases at a long period of time, that is called as the inflation. At present we also seen that the period of inflation, every commodities prices it's always increases. Why? Because the demand will increase automatically, the all structure is change, the market situation is change, and automatically the prices will rise and we face the period of inflation. So basically the governmental role is like that, to control that inflation. But this part is support to your foreign trade due to the liberal imports. We know that the scarcity of the goods and the raw materials, it will helps to the solve that the problem of inflation. Means the everywhere we see in that the different goods and services, no monopoly will be there, the free market, and also every commodity it is available to the cheapest rate. So that part will support to your the foreign trade. These are the major achievements to the new economic policy. So let's we discuss the next point, the major failureness, otherwise the major failures to the 1991 package. We know that if we accepted some positive points, so some negative will be there. Means if the 80% the positive effect is acceptable, so the we already accept that the 20% negative part, that is called as the major failures. So the first failure is the lack of the self-sufficiency. A country under the globalization cannot achieve the self-sufficiency in food production because it is the forced to the produce only those goods which are the demanded at the global level and which are the profitable. See, the producer's mind is always a profit-oriented mind, and every producer will produce those goods which is the collect the maximum profit. So automatically they will produce those goods which are the demanded at the global level and which are the profitable. But domestic level those goods are not important. So maximum time the in the domestic level the necessary goods prices it will be rises because that goods the production it's so limited and the stock is also limited. So that's why these problem we already face, that the lack of the self sufficiency. Then the next, the failure is it's like the adverse the effect of the domestic market. Due to globalization and liberalization, our domestic market are adversely affected. They are the flooded with the imported goods. Due to the liberal import policy, we know that the imported goods are easily available. It's a cheaper than the domestic products. So which products, otherwise which good we have to purchase, which is accordable to your income, otherwise which is cheaper to the domestic product. So these 2 points is support to your demand and it's a positive support. So that's why we demanded those goods which is accordable to your income and which is available to the cheaper. So that's why the domestic product we never demanded. They are highly means those goods which is cheaper we are highly demanded. So that's why the domestic production it's so low. And the next point is the affects poor farmers. The benefits of the globalization are being enjoyed by the rich farmers. They are growing the exportable the goods. But the poor farmer, it's a reverse, and it's major effect to the poor farmers. Like the poor farmers are left the unnoticed. They cannot face the competition. So they are the forced to sell their land or they take the extreme steps like the farmer suicide. They are facing the problem of the indebtedness and the poverty. This is the major problem faced by the farmers, the indebtedness. So that's why the money maximum the money lender will provide the funds, otherwise the money for those farmers which is a poor, and at that time they never provide the proper interest. So they are facing the problem of the indebtedness and the poverty. Then the next major failure is the unhealthy competition. See, the entrepreneurs cannot face the competition with the multinational companies like the MNCs. Because what is the condition about the MNCs? They will produce those goods which is the affordable to the Indian market, and they also use that modern technology. So that's why those commodity will reduce that the cost of production. Those commodity will be available in the cheapest rate. So automatically the Indian producer cannot face that competition. As a result, they are forced to declare they are the unit are a sick unit, or the close in down, or they sell it out. So this is the main problem. Then next is the neglects the welfare aspects. Privatization of services like the health and communication, education has led to the exorbitant the charges and fees for the maximization of the profit. We know that the Indian government will accept that the social welfare program, but the privatization of services like the health and communication, education, they will also the focus that the maximum profit. So the welfare aspect has taken a back seat. That is the major problem. Then the last point in this chapter is related to the major failureness to the new economic policy. It's like the unemployment. We already discussed that chapter, the unemployment. We also discussed that the types of unemployment. These are the major two types, the urban unemployment and also the rural unemployment. But the many Indian industries are the compete to close down as they cannot face the competition with the multinational companies. Means the MNCs, what is the role about the MNCs at present in the industrial sector? We know that. What is the situation? Our the our the legal our the maximum the people will join to that the multinational companies to related to the job. The multi MNCs will also offer to the job opportunities, and the maximum the caliber people will join that the MNCs. But the major part is like the large number of workers are thrown out of job, leading to the unemployment. Why? Because the companies cannot face that competition, so automatically they close down as they cannot face the competition with the multinational companies. So the maximum peoples are the unemployed, and they face the poverty and also the inequality. There is the major drawback. So students, this is the last video as per your 11th standard syllabus. So I think I completed near about the 9th chapter as per your the syllabus. So I think you have to better understand these all things, this chapter. So goodbye everybody.